evening and welcome to News Hour. I am Ngabai. Coming up in tonight's edition of News Hour, Country Representative Food and Agricultural Organization Gabriel Rugulema takes formal leave of President Nkrumah. Sierra Leone's ambassador to the People's Republic of China, Ambassador Alimami Petito Nkrumah, presents his letters of credence. Sierra Leone's ambassador and deputy permanent representative to the African Union, Ismail Nkrumah, calls on African governments to invest in education. And Chief Nursing Officer Matron Usainatu Kanu has disclosed plans to open new midwifery schools in Bo and Kenema. All these and more coming up in the next 45 minutes. The Country Representative Food and Agricultural Organization FAO, Gabriel Rugulema, has commended the government for tremendous progress in the infrastructural sector. The commendation was made when Mr. Rugulema took formal leave of President Nkrumah at State House. Razia Bashkamara reports.
Presenting the FAO Country Director, the Minister of State 2, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Honorable Aissata Kabia, said Mr. Gabriel Rugulema has been the FAO Country Representative in Sierra Leone since 2011 and also managing the United Nations system in the country as acting resident coordinator, including facilitating the transition of UNMEA. He maintained that the FAO country representative has also completed his tour of duty and that during his tenure since 2012, the FAO representative in Sierra Leone has been able for the first time to develop a document containing a country programming framework for the country. The Minister of State 2 disclosed that the document has helped the organization to realign technical support to the government priorities, particularly in areas and sectors for which FAO has a clear comparative advantage. Taking formal leave of the President, the FAO country representative Gabriel Rugulema informed the President that he has been in Sierra Leone for 5 years and it has been a wonderful journey. He expressed gratitude to President Nkrumah for his leadership qualities, saying that they have been together in normal and difficult times when he couldn't even smile when he paid him a courtesy call. Mr. Rugulema also thanked God that together with the President, they managed to deliver the country from Ebola back to the path of development. Citing the history of the country of being founded a colony to be an emporium of trade and commerce, a center of knowledge and a fountain of religious tolerance, the FAO country representative said in the 5 years that he has been in Sierra Leone, he doesn't have anything to complain about, noting that the country has made progress since the 1780s. He pointed out that despite the progress made, the challenges remain in the field of agriculture, where they still need to do more, including bringing in the private sector.
To get to Lungi, I needed 6 hours. Now I need 20 minutes. The roads, Wilkinson Road didn't exist. The Jew Road didn't exist. I have visited every district, capital city. And now they have roads, they have water. Even in good old Bonth, when I was there in September, the road infrastructure was beginning. So there are signs of development and the potential is huge. But as you keep saying, people can't eat potential. So while I'm leaving, I will still be part of Sierra Leone because you can't just wash yourself of the history of the country where you lived, but also that I have had the support of everybody. I want to remain an informal ambassador of Sierra Leone.
Bidding the FAO country representative farewell, President Koroma pointed out that it is not always a pleasant moment to say farewell to somebody that has been part of one's success story and that has participated fully when it was very difficult for Sierra Leoneans. In that regard, the President, on behalf of the people of Sierra Leone, thanked Mr. Rugalema for the remarkable difference he made during his tenure. He pointed out that when the situation was normal, he contributed greatly in trying to focus the whole intervention into a national program. And when that was captured, he accelerated lots of interventions. President Koroma added that they can now boast of the progress made in the agricultural sector, which he was part of, and expressed delight that he was around and played a major role. The President added that the agricultural sector has come a long way, but they still have their challenges as a government. He emphasized that with what they are experiencing now as a government, there is now a greater need for them to intensify their efforts in diversifying the economy. President Koroma maintained that if they have to succeed in doing that, it is the agricultural sector that they have to spend more time on. This, he said, is the reason why the basis the country representative has laid, which will provide the government a solid foundation that they could build on.
So I think all of us, especially those of you that have been very active in creating the basis of what we are now, the new Sierra Leone, will be more authentic when you go out and say it. So we'll urge that as you go out, you continue to be the ambassador of Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone will always remember you, will always remember our friends, especially during the fight against Ebola. And we'll always look forward to welcoming you when you find time to come. This will always be home for you. So please continue to remember us, and we will be out there about July or so. We hope that we'll be able to look you up and have an opportunity to share experience again.
Also at State House, the chairman of the Aberdeen Creek Committee and advisor to the President, Dr. Joseph Samsise, has acquainted President Ernest Bai Koroma on the progress made so far by the committee in implementing the recommendations of His Excellency the President.
Sierra Leone's ambassador to the People's Republic of China, Ambassador Alimami Petito Koroma, has presented his letters of credence to the Deputy Director General, Protocol Department's Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Zhang Yiming. Ambassador Koroma will later this month present his letters of credence to the Chinese President. Ambassador Alimami Koroma thanks the Chinese government for standing by Sierra Leone during the Ebola period, referencing how years of diplomatic and people-to-people ties have continued to grow. He paid a glowing tribute to the late President Siaka Stevens, who had chosen to support China in the 70s, a decision that continues to pay dividend in lifting the bars of cooperation ties between the two republics. Receiving the letters of credence, the Deputy Director General Protocol Department, Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Zhang Yiming, said they are grateful for the support Sierra Leone gave to them over the years, recalling the role they played in facilitating diplomatic ties between China and Liberia. The Chief Nursing Officer, Matron Usainatu Kanu, has disclosed plans to open new midwifery schools in Bow and Kenema. She made this statement during the commemoration of International Nurses Day on the theme, Nurses, a Force for Change, Improving Health Resilience at the Bow Council Hall. Health correspondent Joseph Stanley has more.
Nurses have gathered to celebrate the anniversary of a legend, Florence Nightingale, the founder of modern nursing. She was referred to as the lady with the lamp that advocated for human dignity. According to the Chief Nursing Officer, this year's theme will popularize several ways nurses can contribute to developing strong and resilient health system locally and globally. Matron Hussaina Tukan informed colleagues that the Health Ministry is embarking on a lot of reforms to change the image of nursing, as well as improving on the health outcomes of the populace. She explained about development plans to promote the nursing profession, citing the opening of new midwifery schools in Bo and Kenema in the southern and eastern region respectively. Matron Kanu encouraged nurses to provide competent and quality services at all levels with great compassion and care.
With a note of caution that in acceptance that a difference in the lives of our people, and also that we're going to improve on the standard of nursing in Sierra Leone. On that note, let me thank you all for listening, and I'm wishing all of us fruitful relations, and not only that, also a peaceful election outcome.
The Chief Nursing Officer said they are aware that nurses face several challenges in the discharge of their duties and that they will collaborate with other organizations to help address some of these challenges and enforce reforms. The president of the Sierra Leone Nurses Association, Senesi Magao, appealed to nurses to change their attitude and conduct nurses' care with love and diligence, as the reward will come in several ways. He stressed the need for collective efforts to build a strong health resilient system that will cope with future challenges as well as achieve the targets set in the Sustainable Development Goals. Mr. Magao said despite success, they appealed to the government for the payment of death benefit to the bereaved families of colleagues, health workers who died of Ebola, absorption of nurses, provision of specialized training abroad, and promotion for nurses. Several other speakers, while making meaningful contributions, stressed the need to rebrand the nursing profession for public confidence. They referred to the theme Nurses, a Force for Change, improving health system resilient as relevant and appropriate, as nurses comprise the largest workforce in the health sector. SLBC News Joseph Stanley reporting.
The National Revenue Authority, NRA, has started arresting vehicles that are evading customs. Most of the vehicles are coming from other West African countries through Guinea and Liberia. The NRA anti-smuggling unit is spearheading the operation in the western area. Let's join Hawa Mosiri for that story.
The operation started at the Message Card Center, Cambo Street in Freetown, where 5 vehicles were arrested from Guinea, although other vehicles were also arrested on the street during the operations in the western area. The anti-smuggling unit officer of the National Revenue Authority, Mohamed Masakwe, says that the operation is to track down cars that are evading tax from customs, which he describes as a loss towards revenue generation. He calls on the car dealers not to allow any vehicle in their car centers that has not gone through customs. One of the car dealers of the Wasan Auto Center, Mohamed Lamin Ba, commends the National Revenue Authority for the operations, as tax evasion by other illegal business people have made business very bad for them, as people are not buying cars at the centers, an act which is not good for them. Another car dealer of the Louisan Car Center, Teddy Louis, informs the theme from NRA that most vehicles coming from Guinea are stolen vehicles or overused, so he cannot afford to buy and sell them at his center. Mr. Louis thanks NRA for the bold step in tracking down these cars. The Corporate Affairs Manager of NRA, Mohamed Bangura, told SABC that the operation is nationwide, adding that his office will continue the operation as they are losing a lot of revenue generation. The vehicles arrested will be sent down to their customs office for proper business procedure.
Not to say the law not allow people for coming to inside the country, but they are law in time when they will spend inside this country. And the law also say after that particular period, you forgo. If you not go now, you convert into other thing. Now you go make we take the action rule on top. So even when we want some of them, they tell us say if they sell them, because behind this the document they put on this not for sale. If they sell out, they put on any of the dealership garage, we go for make sure say they pay the duty plus penalty and interest. Plus one thing we for take notice of now, the cost of enforcement. It inside the Finance Act 2016 say anybody with NIA go. You go take your property now, and if you spend any money, if you give money to media, etc., now you go for pay that particular money back.
SABC TV News are in Freetown. Harmosue reporting.
First Lady Sia Nyama Kuruma has called on young women to seize the opportunities that are being offered by the government and donor partners, as well as the private sector, to empower themselves to achieve their goals. She made these statements during the launching of Young Women Empowerment and Advancement Program, an initiative of the government through the Ministry of Youth and the National Youth Commission. Kojo Kwafo reports.
First Lady acknowledged that young women face many challenges in Sierra Leone, including gendered-imposed roles, life-threatening diseases, unequal access to socio-economic opportunities, unemployment, underemployment, and little or no form of education. She says that because women work in poor conditions and earn low income with little or no social protection, they open themselves up to exploitation and increase their vulnerability to poverty. Mrs. Kuruma re-echoed the plight of women in the agriculture sector, saying that although they dominate that sector, they face marginalization with little or no access to credit facilities, improved technologies, and unequal access to land, extension services, and post-harvest technologies.
I would like to call on young women to live up to our collective expectations and to strive in excellence in academic achievement and vocational training. I would like to implore you to live by the ideals and objectives of this newly established Young Women's Empowerment and Advancement Program that seek inter alia to strengthen the capacity of young women to make decisions and choices based on knowledge and to engage in leadership responsibilities with dignity. As you quite rightly put it, attitudinal change and transformation of negative mindsets in our communities will no doubt foster young women's empowerment.
The First Lady reminded her audience about Pillar 3 of Sierra Leone's Agenda for Prosperity, which calls for the creation of employment opportunities for youth, the development of medium and long-term strategies that will foster youth employment, the initiation of youth development programs, including youth skills training programs and schemes.
On 8 March 2016, I joined Women Australia in calling on the Constitutional Review Commission to engender the Constitution and to ensure that the supreme law of the land enshrines women's empowerment and advancement in an unequivocal manner. We welcome the promulgation of an affirmative action bill for women's political participation.
Commissioner National Youth Commission Anthony Kuruma says his commission is aware of the challenges young people face, which is why they continue to develop programs to empower the youth, especially young women. Representing UN Women, Carmen Shuba says violence against women and girls has no place in society, while the future of the Sierra Leone society lies with the young people, more so with young women. She adds that it is only when the future of young people is assured that true sustainability can be guaranteed. Representing UNFPA, Fiona says that UNFPA has a passion for young people with a strong adolescent health and development program. She says that harnessing the demographic dividend by creating conditions for young people to enjoy their human rights and subsequent benefits remain a key priority of UNFPA. The president of lawyers, Rhoda Nuni, says that they have been offering legal representation to victims of sexual assault, rape and gender violence, and that they want the National Youth Commission to not only focus on preventing women from being abused, but also to help them understand their rights and obligations and support them when they are in conflict with the law. Minister of Youth Affairs, Bai Mahmoud Bangura, says the capitalization of this initiative is born out of President Kuruma's desire for women to take center stage. He says that women must move outside of the metaphoric kitchen and step outside to match with men for the development of Sierra Leone. The minister warned that the 50-50 campaign should not only be for the campaigners. He called on young women to prioritize issues on their part, adding that women and girls in Sierra Leone still believe that they do not have the ability to do what men can do. He extended thanks and appreciation to all those who are promoting women's issues in the country.
It is my pleasure to officially launch the National Youth Commission's Young Women's Empowerment and Advancement Program. I take this opportunity to wish the young women of Sierra Leone tremendous success as they continue their journey towards full empowerment and advancement.
Kojokwafu, SLBC.
Ngabai Water Company is presently faced with unprecedented depletion of water sources. This is as a result of illegal activities at water catchment areas in the western area that has resulted to acute water shortage. This concern was raised by the Parliamentary Oversight Committee on Water Resources that summoned stakeholders in the water sector. Princess Gibson filed in this report.
Guma Valley Water Company is faced with unprecedented depletion of water sources, the first in 100 years. This is as a result of the construction of houses at water sources, including Babadori with 98 houses, Charlotte with 32 houses, and Bobo at number 2 River in the peninsula. Several sources are, according to the production manager of Guma Valley Water Company, Mohammed Kuruma, were identified, but have dried up, resulting to the ineffectiveness of Guma to supply adequate water. This water situation has brought these key players to this session to deliberate the way forward, even though a committee was formed in 2010 but did not produce the desired result. The Minister of Water Resources, Momodu Maligi, on his part, strongly pushed for the demolition of structures to send a message.
To go to map out these places and call for the document. The advisor will give a detailed report on the process so far. And we're checking those documents. We found out that even though some are signed by the Ministry of Land, a lot of them are illegally done. It's unfortunate the Ministry of Land is not here today. The minister is not here. I've had some meetings with her, and to be honest, I'm quite encouraged by the way she has started her work in this ministry. She has really evoked some serious investigations into this matter. And this is also a matter that we'll discuss at cabinet level, of which the Ministry of Housing is also stopping the signing of housing permits. To go to map out these places and call for the document. The advisor will give a detailed report on the process so far. And we're checking those documents. We found out that even though some are signed by the Ministry,
this is time for action. I am a man who believes in action. It's only unfortunate part of content cannot be everywhere. I cannot show all the MDs. But this is time for action. This is not time for talking. It's time for action. Every piece of land there has a site plan. Who signed the site plan? That's where we should start. Go to the Ministry of Lands and say, did you sign this site plan? Why did you sign it? Get that man arrested there and then. You go to the Ministry of Lands, who issued a building permit. That's all. You issue the building permit, arrest this man. He goes to Pareba until.
Ministry of Land, a lot of them are illegally done. It's unfortunate the Ministry of Land is not here today. The minister is not here. I've had some meetings with her, and to be honest, I'm quite encouraged by the way she has started her work in this ministry. She has really evoked some serious investigations into this matter. And this is also a matter that we'll discuss at cabinet level, of which the Ministry of Housing is also stopping the signing of housing permits.
The Minister of Internal Affairs, retired Major Paulo Conte, says this present
Meanwhile, the Petroleum Regulatory Agency has briefed the Parliamentary Oversight Committee on Trade on their operations. The director of Petroleum Regulatory Agency, Dan Mason, told the committee that the petroleum industry is 100% private. He noted that pump prices are determined by international trade exchange rates. Mr. Mason noted that even though minimum stock level has been breached by companies, they hold a sacred duty to ensure fuel security. The chairperson of the Parliamentary Oversight Committee on Trade, Honorable Veronica Kadi-Sise, maintained that fuel shortage from time to time is unacceptable and calls on the Petroleum Agency to be proactive. About 10 primary schools in the Lumley community have been supported with learning materials. The president of the Sierra Leone Educational Enrich Project, University of Texas chapter, Aissatou Ba, explained that the move is to enhance the reading culture of pupils and help the schools with literature to improve the teaching skills of teachers. She explained more to Alpha Madupa in this interview.
I hope these will be put to very good use. So the books are from SLEEP. So SLEEP stands for Sierra Leone Educational Enrichment Project. It's an organization that was started at Duke University in the US, and we have different chapters. And our goal, or the books that we brought today, a lot of schools in the nation within the US donated those books to SLEEP. And once we got those books, we brought them to Sierra Leone. And our goal is to make sure that those books get distributed to the right schools and to help educate the youth of our nation. We're selected based on just the government and some private schools around the area, primary schools around the area. Mainly schools that, at least in this area, there's not really a library. And we just selected, there are a lot of other deserving schools, but these are just a few that we were able to get in touch with and get involved in the program. So I've been involved with SLEEP for 4 years now. This is since I've started my education in medicine, I've been involved with SLEEP. And this is my last year. I hope this is not my last year with involvement in SLEEP. I will continue to keep moving forward and helping the organization out as I move to the next chapter of my life. Definitely, I mean, the name of the organization is SLEEP. It's Sierra Leone Educational Enrichment Project, right? So as much as we can do, we will. And that's the goal of the organization, is to be able to provide resources and educational materials to the country in general. So as much as we can, we will try. So my vision is, or SLEEP's vision is in general, is to help promote education. And we think that education is the way out of poverty. And if we can bring up the youths, the children who are going to be the future leaders of this country, try to promote their education in all that we can do, I think that will be the best for our country.
Sierra Leone's ambassador and the deputy permanent representative to the African Union and the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, Ismail Kurma, has told member states of the African Union, including international organizations and partners in Ethiopia, that the only way out of the current predicament confronting development in Africa is for the continent to invest in education. Ambassador Kurma delivered specific papers on the theme Protecting Education from Attack in Africa, Challenges and Promising Initiatives, organized by Save the Children and the Global Coalition to Protect Education from Attack at the headquarters of the African Union Commission in Addis Ababa. Ambassador Kurma stressed that the impact of armed conflict on education has created a serious humanitarian, social, as well as developmental challenges for young people, teachers, and educational authorities. He said educational facilities are being frequently selected and destroyed as soft targets during armed conflicts, while students, teachers, and school authorities suffer the brunt of such atrocities. He praised the government of Sierra Leone for its commitment to safeguard and promote education following the country's civil conflict, which devastated its educational sector. Sierra Leone's ambassador and deputy permanent representative to the African Union and the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, said Sierra Leone is one of the 15 member states of the African Union that has endorsed the Safe School Declaration. The Deputy Minister of Information and Communications, Cornelius DeVoe, has said that government will not be intimidated by any civil society organization in the country. He called for collaboration and dialogue rather than criticizing or incitement. He was speaking during the weekly press conference held at the Ministry of Information and Communications. Maria Madenka Kanu reports.
Speaking to the press, Deputy Minister of Information, Cornelius DeVoe, says the issue of water shortage is a national concern and that government is committed to providing safe drinking water for the populace. He adds that civil society organizations should not use the current water crisis to intimidate governments by making derogatory statements. Mr. DeVoe says his ministry has established an open-door policy with members of the public to address national issues. He calls on civil society groups to be mindful with issues of national interest. He spoke on the economic downturn, which he attributed to the Ebola outbreak.
Civil society organizations should endeavor to restrain themselves within their limits, and let it be made very clear that notwithstanding the fact that Ngabai has been named as one of the projects, the institutions that should be privatized, it has not yet been privatized. Access to safe drinking water for our people remains a primary concern of this government, and government has, over the years, endeavored to explore several opportunities in addressing the issue of access to safe drinking water.
The Deputy Information Minister informs the public that the NPSC will take place on the 28th of May this year. The government, he adds, has settled the issue with the Ministry of Education. He spoke about the recently launched energy recovery projects to improve access to electricity in the country. Deputy Manager Ngabai Water Company, Mada Benge, says the issue with water shortage is as a result of illegal structures built around the catchment areas, deforestation, and the massive road construction ongoing across the country. He assures that modalities are being put in place to rehabilitate the existing dams and build a new one with support from the Chinese. Mr. Benge informs that 10 water catchment communities have all been tampered with by the public in the country. The Ngabai Water Company, he notes, has provided about 10 water bowsers for the provision of water in the city, while admitting that the company needs huge resources to tackle the water crisis currently. In another development, the ambassador from Hungary, Kazma Kutz, handed over a report on the ICT sector to the Minister of Information. According to the Director of Communications, Ministry of Information and Communication, Bakag Tarawali, the report, when implemented, will boost the ICT sector in the country, as ICT will be used on e-justice, e-governance, among others. He explains the significance of the report to the country.
His Excellency the President launched the e-government platform, and government has also invested considerably in ICT infrastructure. So the next step is to utilize the infrastructure, and one way we are doing it is to develop ICT applications, short as e-cabinets, e-justice. And this report is a study that was done by a Norwegian investment group that deals with introducing e-cabinets and e-justice applications. This place, like I said, the platform is already there. Then the second thing is that we are now going to look at the report, and we would develop a PowerPoint presentation that can be shared with members of cabinet, so that at the end of the day they are going to make up a decision as to whether the government of Sierra Leone will proceed with the development.
The Chief Executive Officer of Save the Children International, Hale Thorning-Schmidt, has called on the international community to set up and deliver what they promised to Sierra Leone for its recovery plan. She made the call at a press conference in Freetown. Hawana Tukante takes up the story.
The Children International Chief Executive Officer is on a two-day visit to assess the post-Ebola recovery process and commend government, Sierra Leoneans, and staff of Save the Children in the country on the great work done during the Ebola outbreak. Madam Ellen Thorning-Schmidt said her organization in its Every Last Child campaign will change the situation of child mothers and other vulnerable children in the country. She said donor pledges and funding gaps by international community are in our agenda.
My aim in coming back then was to make sure that the world didn't forget Sierra Leone, to make sure that people came back and that everyone remembered that a country that is recovering from such a distressful situation needs all the help it can get. And in many ways, that is why I'm back as CEO of Save the Children. There's a lot of children in Sierra Leone that are suffering. There's a lot of work to do to recover after the Ebola crisis. And I want to make sure that the world still remembers Sierra Leone. You can count on Save the Children to remember Sierra Leone. We will have been here for many years, and we are in here for the long haul. We will be here for many years and do hard work for the children of Sierra Leone. But I also want the international community to step up, to fund what they have said they want to fund, and to help the government of Sierra Leone do what they can for children, and to help us do what we can for the children of Sierra Leone.
The Chief Executive Officer spoke of our organization's support to children in Sierra Leone in education, health and child protection, saying they will fight to stop teenage pregnancy and early marriage, of which they have been gaining support from the government. The visit of the Chief Executive Officer of Save the Children International will open opportunities for Sierra Leone, including funding prospects for the organization and government, especially for the recovery process, as well as supporting the survival, education and protection of children in Sierra Leone. This is Ellen Thorning-Schmidt's second visit to the country. Her first visit was in January last year as Prime Minister of Denmark, making her the first Western leader to travel to the African nation since it was hit by the Ebola outbreak. The country director, Save the Children, Isaac Okom, said they work in partnership with government and partners to improve the development of children. Hawana Tukonte reporting for SLBC TV News.
The Commissioner, National Youth Commission, Anthony Kuruma, has called on the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology to offer accreditation to the Obasanjo Skills Acquisition and Youth Transformation College. He made this plea during an orientation ceremony for the third batch of students. Maria Madenke Cannon reports.
About 170 youths will be enrolled this year into the Obasanjo Skills Acquisition and Youth Transformation College. They will be trained in community development studies, social work, mass communications, computer skills training, and business management. Coordinator Obasanjo Skills Acquisition and Youth Transformation, Alhaji Fofana describes his college as unique as it bridges the existing gap in education provided by the University of Sierra Leone. He said about 170 youths will be enrolled and that his institution has trained about 1,000 youths since it was established in 2005. Alhaji Fofana called on the Ministry of Youth Affairs and the National Youth Commission to ensure that the college is promoted.
Since the program started its full operation in 2012 to 2015, we've trained over 1,000 young people with various skills in the computer knowledge, that is ICT, community development programs, business administration and entrepreneurship, media study, social work, etc., etc. We also train our young people in interview techniques, career development, CV writing, in order to add more employability to them again. So this time around, this 2016, we've already recruited about 170, and we are planning to recruit more, to add more values to young people again. So,
Commissioner National Youth Commission Anthony Kogoma said the college was a dream he actualized after he acquired a piece of land for the construction of the center some years ago. He said since then a lot of young people have been empowered, adding that the college is planning to establish a film industry. He said that will be unique in the region. Minister of Youth Affairs by Mahmoud Bangura applauded the administration for keeping the college. The minister said he is au fait with the activities of the center, which he said needs a lot of support from government. Mr. Bangura called on the youths to be focused in their studies so as to achieve their dreams. The minister adds that his ministry operates in collaboration with stakeholders dealing with youth issues, as he intends to use the Obasanjo Skills Training College to showcase the creativity of the youths of Sierra Leone to the world. The ceremony also saw the commissioning of a borehole facility provided by a local non-governmental organization, Living Water International. The operations director, Living Water International, Rosemary Blake, said the borehole was constructed for the college as water is very essential for life. He appealed to the students to use the facility judiciously.
To end the news main points again. Country Representative Food and Agricultural Organization Gabriel Rugulema has taken formal leave of President Nkrumah. Sierra Leone's ambassador to the People's Republic of China, Ambassador Alimami Petito Nkrumah, has presented his letters of credence. Sierra Leone's ambassador and deputy permanent representative to the African Union, Ismail Nkrumah, has called on African governments to invest in education. And Chief Nursing Officer Metro Nusana Kano has disclosed plans to open new midwifery schools in Bo and Kenema. Well, that's all in this hour's News Hour, broadcast live on the SLBC in Freetown. On behalf of my news editor, Asmi Yuba, and news producer, Princess Gibson, I am Ngabai. Thanks for watching. Up next is issues in the news.